How many buses did it take to get them people on here?
Well, and the thing is, it was just 2 tour guides. And what it was is I had a church that was coming over to the second meeting house there. They said they'd had 30 plus people show up.
That's it.
Well, that plus was 141 other people.
Oh.
It was the first week of last year's camp meeting. I was supposed to have somebody take my place that weekend. And they called me at the last minute and said they weren't going to be there, so I had to come back from camp meeting. And there was probably a reason why. So what we did is I said, I can't just pull tour guides out of the air on camp meeting weekend. So I says, what we're going to do is I'm going to tell the stories outside. You'll walk through the building. Sandy will shut the door behind you, and we'll go to the next building. It worked. I said, don't ever do that to me again.
What is that noise?
That is a fan. And that would have been the washing machine. All right, in this log cabin. This log cabin was one of those buildings given to us. It was built in the 1850s. Been moved twice to get here. Now in here we tell the story about David Hewitt, the most honest man in Battle Creek. Now the year was 1852. And Joseph Bates, who many consider the father of the Seventh Adventist Church, because when the Adventist Church started, Joseph Bates was basically the only old man. Most everybody else was in their 20s and 30s. Joseph Bates was a retired sea captain. Now, he retired at the age of 35. By the time the church started, he was 55. At average life expectancy being 40, that really made him an old man. When 1852, he was on he was over in Jackson, Michigan. He was staying at the home of Dan and Abigail Palmer. And one night he had a dream. And what he got? That next morning he went down to Dan Palmer and he says, Dan, I've had a dream. And Dan Palmer says, well, what was it this time, Mr. Bates? Because you see, Mr. Bates had another dream 3 years earlier. Well, he says, I was on a ship. We were sailing into a port called Battle Creek. Well, now I'm sure Dan Palmer just laughed at him.
Joseph.
Just laughed at Joseph Bates and said, you know what, there is no ocean in the middle of Michigan here. So you're not going to be sailing to a port called Battle Creek. But he says there is a town called Battle Creek. So Joseph Bates says, well, how do I get there? And Dan Palmer says, well, get on the early morning mail train. So that's what he did. When he got here to Battle Creek, it was a town between 1,500 and 2,000 people. He had no idea whatsoever why the Lord was sending him here, but he had this impression, almost like was the Lord speaking into his ear, go talk to the postmaster. Go talk to the postmaster. So he walks into the post office, and he says to the postmaster, a man by the name of Leonard Stewart, sir, I am looking for the most honest man in Battle Creek. Well, postmaster says, and you're looking for a man by the name of David Hewitt. You see, everybody in Battle Creek knew David Hewitt for his honesty. He was a peddler, a door-to-door salesman. And if he should make a mistake, even if it was just for 1 penny, he would stop what he was doing, he'd walk back to make it right before he continued the business. So Joseph Bates says, well, where do I find this David Hewitt guy? And he was told that he had a house in the corner of Cass and Van Buren. Now, that intersection's only about a quarter of a mile from here. So Joseph Bates grabs his charts, rolls them up, puts them underneath his arms, and he heads off down the street. Now, back in those days, the charts they had, those were very important to the ministers. You know how ministers don't leave home without a PowerPoint today? They didn't back then either. They just called them charts.
Ooh.
Well, when he got to the David and Olive Hewitt were just sitting down for breakfast that morning when... So David Hewitt opens the door.
There was a knock.
There stood Joseph Bates. He introduces himself. Hello, my name is Joseph Bates, and I have been told, sir, that you were the most honest man in Battle Creek. If that is true, I have a message for you. Well, you know, nowadays we probably just wouldn't let people come walking into our house.
No.
And maybe they wouldn't have back then either. But David Hewitt remembered Hebrews 13:2 about entertaining strangers because they became angels unaware.
Yeah.
So he invited Joseph Bates in to have breakfast with him and Olive. It says that they had a wonderful breakfast together. But the whole time, David Hewitt's trying to size up this Joseph Bates. Who is he and what's he all about? Finally, at the end of breakfast, he says to Joseph Bates, well, how would you like to lead us in morning worship? Oh, Joseph Bates was an evangelist. He didn't want sermons. That was the wrong question to ask. Up went his PowerPoints and he started to preach. He preached all morning. He preached all afternoon.
Whoa.
He preached on into the evening.
Whoa.
And that night, when morning worship got done, David and Olive Hewitt were Sabbatarian Adventists. When James Donald White came to Battle Creek just 3 years later, there was a small congregation of Sabbatarian Adventists already meeting at Hewitt home. Now in this log cabin, we've got some artifacts here. We have, I don't know, maybe we can, you want to go around, these are, maybe you can go around and show, this is what they're going to do is to let you feel an iron. These are the old irons that they used to iron their clothes on.
Oh.
What
Yeah, I
they
know
would do,
what that's like.
they didn't have electrical cords or anything on them.
I know what that's like.
What they would do is they'd put them on a stove. The stove would heat them up.
Oh yeah, and then the bottom would
They'd
heat
have
up.
more than one of these
That
because
would
they
heat
would
up.
cool off quicker than they heated up. So they tried to have plenty of those.
Yeah.
Now in the mission field, I get a lot of missionaries that go through here. And in the mission field, the ones they have there are hollow.
Oh.
They put charcoal in it. And charcoal creates the heat. Unfortunately, many times in the mission field, they run out of charcoal. They have to put twigs in there. They don't like to put twigs in there because the twigs burn and put holes in all their garments. So they always try to have plenty of charcoal before they start their laundry.
That's good.
That's interesting.
Also, another thing they have in here, I'll just kind of explain this. Now we have
Guys.
a cylinder that is about 2.5 feet high. It's wood. It has a bottom on it and everything. It has the lid on it with a hole in it. And in this lid with the hole in, there is a stick that comes out through there. What they would do is they'd pull that lid off from here. They would pour their milk down in here.
Oh.
They'd put the lid back on there, and then with that stick that went through the little hole in the lid, they'd go up and down, up and down, up and down, and that's how they made their butter back in those days.
Yep.
Now, back in those days,
remember.
this was a 1 to 3 hour process to make their butter. Nowadays, we just have to go down to our local supermarket and get it there. So that's why they would, that was a job for the children. One of the things that they would have to do in this log cabin is they would have to go fetch their water from the well. And what they did is they had a yoke that went around your neck. And it had 2 buckets that hung off the side of it, one on each side. You would go down to the river, you'd fill your buckets with water. That yoke would go across your shoulders and the back of your neck, and it made it a lot more comfortable. They could bring that up here, and then they could use it for their washing and for their baths and things like that. For drinking water, they probably got that out of a well. All right, how we doing in that? Huh? All right. What we are going to do is after everybody sees that, we are going to exit out that door right there, the opposite one we came in. We'll be going down steps there, so make sure they don't step out there, and we'll go to that house that's right down the corner.
Yeah, I know what the yoke is. Why you can all